Step aside, MatPat, AP Gaming, and other YouTubers cracking the FNaF code. There's a new player here, and I'm about to... God damn it, I hate this game. Hello everyone, my name is OxRyan, and before we go on, this video is just a theory. If you think there are some, if not all, parts that are wrong in this video, you can freely type in the comment section below, with proof of your opinion of course. Five Nights at Freddy's, a series that's either too simple or too complex to solve. Heck, even Scott Cawthon himself said that he will not tell us what's inside that mysterious box because we still haven't solved the whole mystery. Now, I watch a lot of videos covering the possibility of what has happened in the world of FNaF. However, I believe that Scott may have thrown us a huge curveball that we might not have expected. First off, I want to cover things that are set in stone. The whole story starts out with the friendly local pizzeria called Fredbear's Family Diner, which was then closed down due to a murder and reopened as a franchise called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, owned by Fazbear Entertainment. One of the restaurants closed down due to a case of serial killer, and all of the animatronics moved into a bigger location that opened up, which was the location that you play in FNaF 2. The whole franchise has to close down due to, what we assume, the same serial killer from the last location, and moved back to one of its smaller locations, which had tons of budget cuts in electricity, room space, as well as number of animatronics. We played this location in the first FNaF game, which then also got closed down, became an urban legend, which then had a haunted attraction created as a tribute where we play in FNaF 3, which then got burnt down. I'm not sure if the owners of these places have bad management skills or just plain bad luck. Now that FNaF 4 is out, we can promptly put the game in this timeline. We know that FNaF 1 took place during the fall of 1993, FNaF 2 in the fall of 1987, FNaF 3 in the far future of 2023. We know it's 2023 because the game takes place 30 years after the closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which was the location of the first game. What about FNaF 4? I believe that the bite we see after the fifth night is not actually the bite of 87, and that the game actually took place in a time between 1983 and 1986. I know what you might be thinking. Everyone is saying it's the bite of 87. 8-Bit Gaming proved it, and Scott also gave us those cryptic messages in the teaser images. Well, I'm here to say that maybe FNaF 4 didn't give us answers, but more hints to figure out the solution. One of the main reasons why I believe that it's set in a time after 1983 is because of the commercial displayed after Night 3 when you look at the TV. The commercial says, Fredbear and Friends. However, the first ever location is called Fredbear's Family Diner. I think that when Fazbear Entertainment first opened the franchise, they called the original gang Fredbear and Friends. This group of animatronics consisted of Fredbear, Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie, and Chica. When the first Freddy Fazbear Pizzas got closed down, Fredbear got locked up in the next location for the bite after Night 5, that location being the one we play in FNaF 2, which would explain why we don't see Fredbear, so it has to be sometime before 1987, not during 1987. Another reason why I don't believe FNaF 4 showed us the bite of 87 is because of the effect that would be caused by the bite. In FNaF 1, during Night 1, the phone guy says in his message,
"Just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87. Yeah, it's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know?"
Which means that the reason why the free roaming mode was turned off is because of the bite of 87. However, if you look closely at Fredbear after Night 5 in FNaF 4, the reason for that bite wasn't because of the free roaming mode. You can clearly see that Fredbear is standing on the stage and not wandering around, which caused him to bite the kid. Fredbear only appeared in the entrance because there was a guy wearing his suit. Also, he mentions that the frontal lobe was bit off. If you look closely, the whole head was stuck inside. So when the animatronics touched his mouth, it crushed his head completely, not ripping out his frontal lobe. In FNaF 2, however, the animatronics were given a free roaming mode because of the layout of the huge place. The 4 party rooms and the kid's cove is harder to handle if they were standing still, as opposed to that one party hall in FNaF 4. Speaking of the frontal lobe, if the bite actually caused the child to lose his frontal lobe, the child would have no capability of fear. The frontal lobe is responsible for the ability to project future consequences resulting from current action, the choice between good and bad actions, or better and best, the override and suppression of socially unacceptable responses, and the determination of similarities and differences between things or events, as well as the ability to retain long-term memories which are not task-based, memories that are often associated with emotion. The frontal lobe is also responsible for voluntary movement. However, you can still move without it, you just won't be doing it consciously. so the loss of his frontal lobe would actually make him forget his fear of being bitten by Fredbear, and the game would be over. There would be no other nights after that. But as you know, he continues to relive the same nightmare. One might argue that the kid you play during the night is different than the one you play during the day, because the layout of the houses are different. But what if, just like in FNaF 1, they had to sell their house to pay for the hospital bill and move into a smaller house? The kid might also be suffering from a coma, which would explain why he only sees his bedroom and the hallway. However, he does not go to any other room. Well, for now, let's not fret over these details. Another hint to look over is the location where it takes place. Some people have told me that the location was Fredbear's family diner. However, if this was the location where the bite happened, wouldn't it be the same location as FNaF 2? Since it was the same location where the animatronics had free roaming mode turned on during the day. While in FNaF 4, we are able to see 3 to 4 rooms, the entrance or exit, the main stage attached to the dining area, and the parts and service room. Since we know that the main stage is attached to the dining area, it matches the FNaF 1 layout because the main stage shared a room with the dining hall. The exit was also in the same room, which explains why the main area was just a screen away. Also, if you look at the parts and service room after night 3, you can see the shelves and the table with animatronic parts. This room is the exact same room you see when you die in FNaF 1. With this, we can conclude that the restaurant you go to is actually the same restaurant as FNaF 1, which puts this game before or after FNaF 2. And I say it's before, because it was a time where Spring Bonnie and Fredbear were still animatronics in the restaurant. Spring Bonnie and Fredbear was then locked in the back for safety. I have a feeling that this is actually the origin of the puppet, and that the kid you play eventually becomes the one who gives life to all the animatronics. Now, I believe you may have big problems with this theory, and that you, my dear viewer, believe that the kid you play as is actually Fredbear or Golden Freddy. However, many theorists actually missed a big clue. Fredbear begins to haunt you before you got bitten by him, not after. So why does he appear to haunt you, taking over Freddy and his gang's job? Remember, after night 4, the kid you play as is locked by his older brother in the parts and service room. Generally, if you see something that's scarier or more frightening than what you're scared of, you focus your attention on it more. Due to the fact that he is locked in there, he fears the Fredbear animatronics more than he does his older brothers playing Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Freddy, which is why he takes over during and after night 5. With all this evidence, I now want to present you a hypothetical situation that might have happened in the history of Fredbear family dining, all the way to Fazbear's Fright. During the late 1970s, there was a restaurant that was quite famous for its pizzas and its animatronic. Its popularity skyrocketed because it was a place where parents feel safe leaving their children to have some good old entertainment and delicious pizzas to eat. One day there was a child that was murdered outside the establishment, which causes parents to lose trust in their diner. They stopped bringing their children, and eventually the restaurant closed down due to no business. However, the child became a spirit and possessed the Fredbear endoskeleton. Since he saw the killer, he knows that the killer was actually the person who uses the Fredbear suit. Years later, Fazbear Entertainment brought over Fredbear and his friends to create a new chain of restaurants called Freddy Fazbear Pizza. One restaurant in particular had a horrible accident where 4 teenagers stuffed a kid inside the Fredbear animatronic, which then closed his mouth shut, causing the death of that child. Since the Fredbear endoskeleton was already haunted, he decided to help his fellow friend by giving him some sort of company. He noticed that he was lonely and particularly shy, so he tells him that he will fix him. How? By giving him a body. Also, the one who was apologizing was his brother. If you look closely at the text saying sorry, it is a different color than the text saying that he is gonna fix him. Anyways, this body was a special kind of body. It was some sort of marionette that he put together so that he was able to control it, like a puppet. Now that the Fredbear endoskeleton knows who the killer is, he tries to frame him so that he can lose his job. He lures 5 kids in the back while wearing the suit and lets the puppet stuff them into their respective animatronic. Why? Because he wanted friends. However, he did not notice that he stuffed one of the dead children in an empty suit, which happened to be Golden Freddy's. Since the security camera is able to see the suit walking around and taking in the children, they fired the original guy who was using the suit, and so enraged, he tries to seek revenge towards Fazbear Entertainment. The restaurant closes down due to the odd odor, blood, and mucus coming from the animatronic, and we move forward to the summer of 1987. The animatronics were brought over to another establishment and were upgraded with a criminal detection software. However, the upgrade failed and they were left in the back. The toy animatronics, however, succeeded in being upgraded with the updated features. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie were hidden in a secret room, a place not even the animatronics can go in. Now, I say that they were in this establishment because you can see at rare times Shadow Freddy, shadow body, and an endoskeleton without the suit, which is all the same spirit which possessed the endoskeleton. Anyways, the grand reopening was a big opportunity for Fazbear Entertainment to polish up its image. However, this meant an opportunity for the serial killer to shut it down once again. Using either the spring bonnie suit or the Fredbear suit, is able to commit even more murders, which places the restaurant into investigation and eventually put into lockdown. One of the animatronics equipped with the criminal database software manages to notice who he is while he tries to sneak in to get the suit, or to return the suit, and bites the frontal lobe of his head off. This is the real bite of 87. With the frontal lobe off, he has no fear of the animatronics, nor any memory of why he wanted revenge. So he concluded that it is his duty to destroy the animatronics. Remember, because of the loss of his frontal lobe, he has no memories that involves emotion, just task-based memory. So it makes sense why his prime objective was to destroy the animatronics they had at the time he was put in jail. It also explains why we see him back at the location in FNaF 1, because it was the location where he worked in when he got arrested. Now we move on to the events after FNaF 1. The animatronics are back in their old location and the whole place is run down, almost destroyed. In the fall of 1993, or in the time after FNaF 1, the place becomes deserted. However, the serial killer hides in the back room with the suits, waiting for the right time. The spirits possessing Fredbear notices and tries to lead them to kill the killer. However, they are unable to enter the room because they had no clue they couldn't go in, and the murderer disassembles him. Why? Because he has no fear to pull them back. He is so out of control that he is able to disassemble a scary animatronic that is willing to snuff him in a fully electronic suit. However, as shown in the minigames, he probably might not be spooked into going into the Springtrap suit. He probably panicked into thinking how he should destroy the spirits, and he thought of doing that through the Springtrap suit. Due to the rain, it causes the endoskeleton to pop back up, killing him and having him possess the suit, and is locked inside the room until it is discovered once again for Fazbear's sprite. Or the kid could be Mango, but that's an entirely different story and that I'm too tired to talk about. Anyways, hope you guys liked the video. There's a link to the Word document that has the full transcription of this video if you want an easier way to dissect what I just said. Also, I'd like to send a thanks to all the creators and theorists whom I referenced. You guys make awesome videos, and if you happen to see this particular one, I'd like to hear your opinion of the theory. And as always, if you like the video, give me an awesome like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Comment below your opinions. Don't be afraid to voice it out, although please be nice, and I'll see you guys next time.